Hey everyone, I want to make another video here talking more about symbols that I talked about in my last video. Yeah, I realize I'm going to have to do another whole series of videos explaining symbols in our culture and society. Yeah, this is another subject I can just go on and on about. So if there was something you didn't understand from my last videos, if you felt I moved too fast or something needs more explaining, okay, just hold on, I'm going to get more into this. Yeah, I know going through the school system and culture in this society, a lot of this is probably all new to you. This is probably a lot of information that's unheard of. Yeah, I know how you feel. I just started learning about this stuff in the last couple of years. And so, well, to getting into understanding these principles about reality and the world we live in, what I found the best way to start is you have to do what's known as you have to be able to, as the saying goes, you have to unlearn what you've learned. Okay, I know a lot of this, you think this sounds strange and crazy, but I'll tell you what, the people that run this world, the people at all the top high level positions of government and the biggest money making companies, all these powerful organizations that use these symbols that I've been showing, this is all absolutely gospel to them. They all live by this stuff. It's all square one, just kindergarten stuff. It's like just how shit works 101, you know. And for all of you that think this sounds crazy and ridiculous to even talk about, okay, well, all these people, these top leaders and executives of big companies and organizations, they think it's crazy and ridiculous that you don't know about it, that you're not talking about it. Yeah, that you live in this world, you put all your time and energy into it, you literally dedicate your whole life to it, and you don't even know what it is or how it works. Okay, it's like this time of year, you're putting up your Christmas tree. Okay, so you put up your tree with the star at the top, and it has the lights going around it. Yeah, you put up some candy canes. Okay, a lot of you Christians, okay, yeah, Christians out there, you celebrate Christmas, and you say you're a Christian because you read the Bible. Okay, so now, what part of the Bible, what is it, the New Testament or the Old Testament? Where does it talk about Christmas trees and candy canes? I guess I must have missed that scripture. You know, I mean, it's just amazing how people think this stuff sounds crazy, and yet they love to participate in all these traditions and rituals with all these symbols, and people don't even know what they mean or where they come from. Okay, the reason there's no Christmas trees and candy canes in the Bible is because they're not from Christian teachings. They're not from Christian beliefs. Okay, you may have heard of paganism. Okay, that's where it all comes from. They come from pagan traditions. Yeah, they come from pagan holidays. Now, pagan beliefs, in case you don't know, all of their beliefs, they come from the stuff I've been talking about, the ancient mysticism, such as the teachings of Babylonian and Greek schools of the sciences of the universe. Okay, really all the holidays in our culture, they're all from pagan belief. They're all pagan holidays. Yeah, the most popular ones: Christmas, Valentine's Day, Halloween, also your birthday. Okay, so that's another example that everyone does. Okay, so on your birthday, you set up your birthday cake. You put the candles on, you light the candles, and then you close your eyes, you blow out the candles, and you make a wish. Okay, so do you know what this is? Do you actually know where this comes from? Yeah, pretty much everyone participates in these traditions and they don't even know what it means. Well, as with pagan beliefs and the Egyptian, Babylonian, and Greek teachings, it all has to do with these same things I've been talking about, the principles of the universe. So I explained this. Okay, so this is the structure of the universe. You have the sun above our head, you have the light hole, and underneath the earth you have the black sun or the black hole, and you have the flat earth disk in the middle. And from this black sun or black hole, you have an energy or a light that shoots out towards the earth and comes out at this hole at the center of the earth. And this has been talked about in all these ancient cultures. Okay, so this black sun here and its energy, it's been known throughout ancient cultures to be this power of creation. Yeah, it's been known to bring whatever you want to create, or it brings your intent into fruition. Yeah, whatever you desire. So, okay, so with the okay, so now when the sun's light leaves, it's been said that whenever the lights go out or the lights get dim and it's dark, okay, so the light goes into the black hole, and so when the light is dark or dim, then they say our focus is on the black sun. So okay, so on your birthday cake you have these candles lit, and so you blow out the candles, you close your eyes and make a wish. So when you blow out these lights, it gets dark, and that focuses your intent on the black sun to bring what you wish or what you desire into the world. So that's what all this means. That's where it comes from. Okay, so yeah, it all has to do with these principles of the structure of the universe. And the Christmas tree is the same thing. Okay, so on a Christmas tree, okay, so you have the star on top, you have lights going all around it, and you have candy canes, and then and so you have a green tree, yeah, coming out through with this stand here. Okay, now Christmas is a pagan holiday, and it's really to celebrate the winter solstice. Okay, I kind of talked about this last time. Okay, so in the winter solstice, okay, now normally the sun goes around in the middle of the sky in a circle, but now during the winter solstice, the circle that the sun is going around kind of moves towards the edge, and so this part of the circle is around here towards the edge, and then this part of the circle is around here by this center of the earth where the hole is. And what actually happens is the sun starts going deeper and deeper and closer into the hole. So it kind of swirls around, and its light goes directly into the hole. So this all has to do with the pagan tradition of Christmas. So you have the tree with the star on top. So the star on top, this has to do with that's to represent the sun above our heads. And then it has lights going around it. That's the sun's light swirling around, going into the hole at the center of the earth and getting taken in by the black sun. And so then you have a tree. Now the tree, and this has been described in ancient cultures in a few different ways. Now the tree is to represent the astral light. As I talked about before, this light coming from the black sun, it's a green light. It's the aurora. And it's also been described in ancient cultures as a tree, the tree of life, at the center of the earth. And so, and the stand is usually in an X or cross form. That's to represent the hole, the center of the earth. You see here, I showed this map. Okay, this is the map from the 1500s. And, okay, so this land is going around the center of the earth. And there's 4 rivers that point to the center of the earth. So it makes like a cross or X pattern. And that's where the saying comes from, X marks the spot. Yeah, this magnificent spot at the center of the earth. So yeah, this stand, it's in a cross or X, sort of an X shape. Yeah, so that represents the 4 rivers going into that hole at the center of the earth. So yeah, it's all explaining these same things. And so also the candy cane. So yeah, you see this kind of light. Yeah, there's red and then there's white kind of swirling around. Okay, that has to do with the sun's light going into the center of the earth. Yeah, you see this? So, okay, so the sun goes around in a circle going around the earth, and then its light goes into the hole at the center of the earth to be taken in by the black hole. So now to do this, its light has to kind of curve around. It has to curve and bend down to get towards that hole at the center of the earth. So it's shown right here on the candy cane. That's where that comes from. So yeah, it's in a lot of things in our culture that, yeah, people are all familiar with, but they don't know where this stuff comes from. Yeah, here's another one. Here's what's called the lifesaver of the life preserver. Okay, you see here it's like a disc with a hole at the center, and there's this cross pattern. Yeah, with these 4 lines here. Yeah, so there's like an X or a cross. So yeah, it's meant to represent a flat disc with a hole at the center, and then again it's those 4 rivers making this cross pattern, going towards the hole. So yeah, it means X marks the spot. So there's a lot of things in our culture. There's a lot of things about our language. Like this is the question mark, and this is where this comes from. Is it like the same thing as like a candy cane? Kind of looks like a candy cane, but yeah, it's like a question mark. It curves around and goes towards this dot. Looks like a little hole. So yeah, that's again the sun's light has to curve and bend down, so it goes into the hole at the center of the earth. So actually, there's a lot of things about really the whole alphabet. I talked about the sine wave. Yeah, so really our whole alphabet is based on this wave, the sine wave. Notice every letter has like this flow to it. Like every letter can be written in one like kind of smooth stroke. It has like this uniform pattern. So you can really write every letter of the alphabet on the sine wave. You make like an A, you turn it sideways with this line, make a P, you can make a D, you can make like a K, you can make like an H, and of course you can make like M, N, like U, W, S, Z. So yeah, our entire alphabet is really based on the sine wave. And especially, you may have seen the dollar sign. I mean, this is really just clear. Yeah, so it's a line with this kind of wave going around it. So yeah, it has to do with the sine wave. So yeah, all these things in our culture, yeah, it talks about the structure of the universe. I mean, it's just everywhere. Yeah, it's hard not to see it. That's why I have to make more videos about this. I can just go on and on about this. It's and all these things in our culture. Yeah, it's hard not to see it. But I mean, the reason people don't see it is because it's our society and this power structure is designed like that. Yeah, they don't teach this stuff in school. They have to. That's why they really have to try to make up this false reality. Yeah, people have been asking why. Okay, so the Earth is flat. Why would they make all this stuff up about us spinning globe stuff? Why would they go through all that trouble? Well, they have to. That's the only way they can stay in power. Yeah, so they have to make up this spinning globe model. They have to keep all these treaties in place. So you can't go to Antarctica. You can't see where the Earth ends and then the firmament starts. You can't go to the hole at the center. So yeah, and they teach all this fake history in school. Yeah, they don't teach about. I don't know about you. In school, I never heard about James Van Allen that discovered the Van Allen belt, which is the firmament. Yeah, I never heard of any of this stuff. So. And also about like secret societies, what I've been talking about, like this bust in Washington D.C. of George Washington. It even says Freemason and president. Yeah, and in school I never heard about any secret societies. Yeah, even though it's on the official bust of George Washington in the city that he's named after. Yeah, I never heard of a word about Freemasonry in school. Yeah, so yeah, they have to keep this view of our government and politics, and yeah, they have to keep it's what's called a Hegelian dialectic. Yeah, there's other videos explaining this, but basically the Hegelian dialectic, it's when they push this view. It's really pretty much always two views. It's maybe a limited number of views, and there'll be opposing views, but there'll be a very limited, truncated, narrow view. They put in a lot of false reality, and they put in some reality, but it's only what they want you to hear, and they make it seem like that's it. That's the only thing. Is you have these two views, and those are your only choices. So there's another YouTuber. His name is Devin Maggi, and he has a really great video. I think I'll post a link of it in the description. But yeah, he talks about our whole political system is based on this Hegelian dialectic. So like in politics, you have, okay, there's Democrat and Republican, and they make it seem like these are these opposing viewpoints. But really, Democrats and Republicans, they're from the same group. They're both from secret societies, which are all controlled by Rome. So, yeah, both Trump, yeah, he's a Freemason. Clinton, she was actually an honorary member of Skull and Bones. So, yeah, they're both from the same group. Really, they make it seem like it's this choice between the two, but yeah, it's really the same thing. Yeah, and so yeah, all the politics is fake. The government, most news is fake. Yeah, there's videos pointing this out. A lot of the news is really just scripted. Yeah, there's been videos pointing out that there's different news affiliates all over the country, and they make it seem like the news is just they have like separate organizations in different cities all over the country. But really, it seems like they're reading off the same script. They all have the same stories, and there's videos pointing this out. They say the exact same thing, like they're reading off a script. Yeah, so a lot of these things in the news, especially a lot of these terrorist attacks you've been hearing about, these like bombings. Yeah, especially definitely these lone gunmen, isolated nut job. Those are all fake, really. They're pretty much all fake. Yeah, a lot of times in the news, there's what's called, you may have heard about this, there's what's called false flag attacks. Yeah, a lot of these attacks, they're made up to advance this agenda. As I talked about, the way the power structure stays in power is they have to appeal to people's base, low frequency ways of thinking. They have to keep this constant state of fear. So with these terror attacks, sometimes, I mean, most normal people wouldn't do terrorist attacks, so they have to make them up sometimes. Yeah, they have to create this state of fear. Even when there is nothing, they have to make it up. So yeah, they have false flag attacks. Yeah, in case you don't know what this means, I mean, you can look all this stuff up. Yeah, you can Google false flag attack, and if you don't know what it means, basically, I looked it up. The definition of a false flag attack is that's when a government attacks or pretends to attack its own country or another with the purpose and means to execute its agenda. So now, in my last few videos, I talked about those ancient cities that Plato talked about in his books. Yeah, those cities like Enoch and Lemuria. And the way the power structure started was these low frequency people, they had to manipulate normal people with fear. And so that's how they get, and they had this fight or flight response, and that's how they get what they want. Yeah, it's been done throughout history. Yeah, these false flag attacks, they're nothing new. Yeah, they try to keep them secret that they're false, but it's been pretty public. A lot of the ones in history. Yeah, you have like the Mukden incident. That's when in the 1930s, Japan's government bombed their own train railway as a pretext for the 1931 invasion of China. So yeah, the Japan's government used to do false flag attacks. And then in America, yeah, there's been famous ones in history, like the Gulf of Tonkin. Yeah, that's when in the Gulf of Tonkin, the U.S. government tampered with their own military's radars to make it look like the Viet Cong sank U.S. ships. And that was a pretext for the Vietnam War. Yeah, and then, of course, the big one in the recent years is 9/11. Yeah, the U.S. brought down the Twin Towers and blamed it on Islamic extremists, and that was for a pretext to invade Iraq. So these same things are still going on. Yeah, a lot of these, like I said, a lot of these lone gunmen and these weird bombings, by these isolated nut jobs. Yeah, a lot of these ones like Sandy Hook. The Watertown shooting, Boston bombing, this shooting in the Orlando nightclub. Yeah, those are pretty much all fake. There's videos pointing all this out. Yeah, so now one thing they're pointing out in these videos is the way you can tell that these are fake is they use what's called crisis actors. Okay, so this is an example. This lady here, yeah, you can see these people in multiple incidents. These same people are in multiple incidents. Okay, so this lady here, right now in this video, she's known as Alex Israel, and she claims to be in Sandy Hook. She was Adam Lanza's classmate. Well, she's also been seen. I think this was before this. She in the you may have heard of James Foley. He was abducted in Syria in 2012. Well, here she is. This is the same lady, and she's calling herself Kate Foley. Yeah, she claims to be the sister of James Foley. So, but it's the same person. It's pretty clear. Yeah, it looks like they have different. They're kind of using different makeup, and she's using a different name, but it's the same person. So, yeah, there's another crisis actor. Okay, this lady here, she was seen in the Boston bombing, and she was seen in the Watertown shooting. So now she was in both of them. She was playing eyewitnesses, just a random person on the street. But again, you can clearly see it's the same person. Yeah, she has dark glasses in the Boston bombing, and then the Watertown shooting, she has clear glasses. It's just regular glasses, but you can clearly see it's the same person. So, okay, now also in Sandy Hook, there was also this couple. Okay, now in Sandy Hook, this couple, they called themselves Nick and Laura Phelps, and they claimed that they were one of the people that said one of their kids were killed in the shooting. Well, people have looked this up. You can find their actual names. This is actually, their names are Richard and Jennifer Sexton. Okay, now the thing is, this lady here, this Jennifer Sexton, she's a known actress. Yeah, you can Google her name and look her up. She's not a popular actress, but she's done a lot of acting work. And so yeah, they changed their names, and they're claiming to be their kids got killed in the shooting. And what people have looked up is they've also found their kids' identity, and they were actually there. You can see them in the news footage, but they're playing different people. They're claiming that they're not their kids. They claim to be different people. They said they were the brother and sister of one of the teachers that got killed. So their kids are actually still alive, and they were playing different people in the news footage of the shooting. So I guess their kids are crisis actors as well. Actually, here in this photo, you see this guy here. Yeah, this guy, he was another bystander. He's in the background of this photo. And they found out who this guy is also. And he actually turns out to be the father of Jennifer Sexton. Yeah, so they found out his identity too. And as you can see here, in this news footage, he's doing what I pointed out in other videos. He's doing a hand sign that's been well known to be used by secret societies called the Il Cornuto. So yeah, you can clearly see that they're throwing up their kind of gang signs. So okay, now in the Boston bombing, there was also this guy. Okay, in the Boston bombing, he claims his name was Jeff Bauman. Yeah, so this was 2013. Now they found out who this guy is. His actual name is Nick Vogt, and he's an army officer. Okay, now in the Boston bombing in 2013, he claims he plays this. He's supposed to be this guy who was struck in the bombing, and he lost his leg. It looks like his leg got blown off. Well, he actually served. Yeah, Nick Vogt. He actually served in Afghanistan, and he lost his legs in 2011. So 2 years before that. So I guess the government saw an opportunity to help them out again. So yeah, he plays this guy who claims he got injured in the bombing. So yeah, you can look a lot of these up. A lot of videos are pointing this out, and you can also see there's actually been ads on Craigslist They look like they've been asking for crisis actors. Yeah, you see here that it says role players for a military mock simulated disaster. Yeah, that's Fort Hood. So yeah, people have been finding these all over the internet. But yeah, and also, but a lot of the stuff in the news, yeah, it's all made up. Like people have been talking about ISIS, and I pointed out in my previous video, ISIS that comes from the Jesuits. They have in their logo the IHS. That's what the I stands for. It's ISIS. So yeah, they're not. Yeah, they claim to be this Islamic extremist group, but yeah, their name is actually from the Jesuits logo. It's from the Roman Church. So yeah, that's pretty obvious. But yeah, if you want to know why they make all this stuff up, it's like I said, they have to keep people operating in these low. They have to focus on people's low frequency base ways of thinking and keep people in this constant state of fear. So yeah, I mean, yeah, that's the only way they can stay in power. They have to appeal to people's just base instincts. But I'll tell you what now. The only thing we should fear is ignorance and being complacent. Yeah, people ask, like, what do these symbols mean? Why would they show all these symbols if they want to keep this stuff a secret? Why do they flash these symbols all over the place? Okay, there's another great video. I talked about ODD TV or ODD reality. He has a great video about why they use all these symbols. I should post a link of that in the description. But okay, there's a few different reasons why they flash all these symbols all the time. Yeah, I mean, first of all, they're like gangs, so it's kind of like flashing gang signs. But really, it has to do with, there's a lot of reasons, but first of all, there's what's called lesser magic. And I'm going to make more videos talking about this sort of thing. But lesser magic, the way it works is, one of the ways it works is, okay, now if you study law, there's a legal term, and it has to do with a lot of it's used in a lot of contracts and legal guidelines, and it also has to do with natural law. I need to explain this too. Yeah, but a lot of it works this way. It has to do with what's called silence implies consent. Okay, it's also known as the rule of you snooze, you lose. Yeah, but it's also been described in terms like hidden in plain view. Yeah, a lot of like contracts, like I said, contracts, a lot of times they have fine print. They have other things you need to, yeah, sometimes it's shown. It might not be obvious, but it can be seen. It can be clearly shown in whatever they're displaying. So, well, what this silence implies consent, what it has to do with is basically if you see something and you don't do something about it, you have to look into it, say something, read the fine print. Yeah, if you don't, then basically that's on you. It was there. Yeah, something wasn't right, but you didn't look into it. This silence implies consent is pretty much the entire MO of the ruling elite. Okay, let's think about this. Okay, now in the news for several years, it's been pretty publicly admitted that the Vatican is involved in all these scandals and the horrible the molestation and rape of little kids. Yeah, stories like this have been put out. Yeah, the devil is found in the Vatican. It's been pretty obvious something's clearly really wrong with the Catholic Church and the Vatican. Also with the royal family, they've been involved in scandals, kids disappearing. And also all these stories with wars, these fake wars, like 9/11, like even if you buy the ridiculous official story, we were attacked by these extremists from Afghanistan, Pakistan. So then we invade Iraq? Yeah, so, like something doesn't make sense. Like, and also this fake space stuff, the spinning globe and all this space program stuff. Yeah, there's been pictures, documentaries showing all this. You can watch other YouTube videos talking about this. Yeah, and also, yeah, with the government, like, because I've been showing all these symbols. Yeah, these symbols are all over the place. They're on our money, and also with the new. If you've been paying attention to the news, there's all these scandals involved with the government and politicians. Really, I mean, politicians they don't do anything. They've been doing nothing. They do nothing to help the last like hundreds of years. Yeah, they take out your campaign funds. They take out tax money. I mean, this is all public. Yeah, so if you don't speak up about it or do something or say something, at least you could do like I do, start making videos. You could just talk to people. Well, okay, so the way this silence implies consent works is if you don't say something or do something about it, with all these scandals going on, basically what it says is you 100% approve of all of it. Yeah, you're behind it the whole way. You man the torpedoes full steam ahead. You know, yeah. So I mean, like I've been explaining, like the elite. I explained in my last video, the elite are not capable of higher frequency thinking. They don't have that. They never developed that part of the brain. Going back way back in history, they don't have the physical material part of the brain for love and compassion. So they're going to do what they're going to do. So if you want to talk about in legal terms like this, if you want to talk about who's guilty, if you're a loving, compassionate person, basically with the elite, with the silence implies consent, their argument is, hey, we publicly did this. We showed them everything. It's in the news. We showed them all these symbols everywhere. It's on the back of your money. We have your favorite singers and movie stars flashing them all the time. So, I mean, it was pretty clear, and they didn't object. They didn't say anything about it. So, yeah, it's not on us. It's on them. So basically, what I'm saying is, you may call the elite evil and satanic, but if you consent to what they're doing, the truth is you are 100% satanic, demonic, evil in the flesh. That's what it means to be evil. You don't have to bow down and worship a statue of Baphomet and sacrifice a goat, light some candles. It has to do with this silence implies consent. Okay? You have to say something about it. You have to do something. If you're a loving, compassionate person, you would stand up and make your voice heard. Okay, in history, the definition of evil, the historic definition of evil is when good people who are able to do good do nothing. So that's what we should be concerned with. You know, they're going to do all this fear mongering. We should be afraid of the Muslims and Putin and whoever, the boogeyman, Freddy and Jason. Okay, what we have to be concerned with is silence. Too many people keep their mouths shut. They see all this stuff happening and they don't do anything about it. Okay, yeah, people are worried about there's going to be some disaster. Okay, this is the disaster. Yeah, as I said, the elites don't use military and violent force primarily to control the public anymore. That's not how this works. They've learned how to use cunning and trickery. I explained in my last video, they learned how to go dark, go incognito. Yeah, they don't want to keep things like violent. They want to keep things physically calm, but mentally they want everyone in this state of fear, and they want to keep people ignorant. Yeah, worried about World War III. Yeah, Russians, Muslim extremists. Okay, this is the disaster. Yeah, everyone is ignorant. They think we're on a spinning ball in the middle of nowhere in a vacuum. And we got these people in the military tricked into keeping people from going to Antarctica, seeing the firmament. And worst of all, we got people in the military, all these treaties in place, keeping us from going to the center of the earth. This ancient paradise that people have been talking about for centuries. They say this light coming from the center of the earth has all this healing power. It's the source of creation and this vibrance. They called it the soul vibrating from the center of the earth. It's the greatest place in the world, and we're keeping ourselves from seeing it. It's ridiculous. So the point is, you have to start speaking up. You have to either do like I do, start making videos, or at least start talking to people. You have to start doing something about it. So, okay, well, I'm going to end the video here. I'm going to talk more about this stuff, get more, make more videos, but so stay tuned, and just remember, if you don't like this stuff, make your voice heard. Okay, silence implies consent. So if you snooze, you lose. Okay, so stay tuned to my channel. I'll be making more videos soon. Thanks for watching.